Hi folks, it's Tracy again, and today I'm going to be showing you how to macrame your very own bracelet, just like the celebrities are wearing these days. This particular style is popular right now. The little beads can have meaning for the different colors, and we are putting a little adjustable macrame back on it so that you can pull little tails to tighten it when you want to put it on. So you can loosen it to take it off as well. So let's get started. Let's talk about the supplies we're going to need for this project. You're going to need your beads that you're going to put in the center of your bracelet. You can really do as many as you want, but we found that 5 are nice, and we're using 6mm Elaine Ray beads because they're really pretty and they're made by hand, which is a nice touch. You're going to need about 4 6/0 seed beads. We're going to be using these in the back for the little tails, the adjustable part. And then we get to our leather. And this is a little more complicated because we need several different pieces. You're going to need 2 18-inch pieces that we will use for the center of the bracelet. We've got one 24-inch piece that we'll use to create our adjustable bit in the back, and then for the majority of our macrame we're going to be using a 2.5 yard piece. Now all of these are conservative, they're a little longer than what you're going to need, but once you get started you're going to see that you are going to be really upset if you put all this work into it and it ends up being a little too short. So it's better to err on the side of being too long. So to get started, I'm going to take my 2 18-inch pieces. And I want to come in about 3 inches, line them up together, come in about 3 inches, and we're going to tie them together in an overhand knot. This is just going to keep them together. And we're going to use this to create the core of our bracelet. Now we're going to take our really long piece, and we want to find the middle of this one as well. So meet up your ends and then pull it down till you find the folded center. And this part is going to go around our core just under the knot we've made. So this is our short part, this is our 3-inch piece, and then the rest is coming down. And now we're going to start doing our basic macrame stitch. This first one's going to be a little hairy because nothing's really attached, but I am holding the middle of our long one around our core. I'm going to keep my thumb there, and we're going to start our stitch. So we're going to take the right side of the long piece and make a little P in front of our core, and then this left side needs to come in front of this piece that my pinky is touching. Needs to come over the top of that, and then we're going to bring it under the part where everything crosses, where my thumb is. So it's going to come under that and up through the loop. You'll know you've done it right because it makes a very basic knot that surrounds the core. If you tighten it and it's not around the center, then you've got it just a little bit wrong. But this one takes a little practice to see. And we want it to lay flat, so we have to alternate which side the stitch starts on. If we started on the right side every time, it would corkscrew. So this time I'm going to make my P in front on the left side. And then my right side needs to come in front of this piece and under the crossed part my thumb's holding and up through the loop. And then you just kind of slowly tighten. And you'll start seeing the pattern you're creating, And this little bump here and here is going to alternate sides. That's also a great way to tell which stitch you're on if you forgot. So say I forgot which side I was supposed to be starting on this time. Well, the little bump is on this side. So that tells me I need to start on the right side. So make your P, come in front of the tail, under the crossed part, and up through the loop in the P. And now we're alternating, so we'll do it again. Make a little backwards P on this side. Come in front of this tail, under the crossed part, and up through the loop you made. So you are going to continue this stitch, alternating the sides you started on. So you can see it's starting to form. Alternating the sides you started on, and we want to do about 2 to 2.5 inches of this stitch before we start adding our beads. So this is a good time to practice. I'm going to go ahead and do my 2 inches and I'll show you where to go from there. I've been doing my stitch for a little while now, and I just wanted to show you what happens if you forget to alternate. So this whole section here is looking good. It's the way it's supposed to look. The little bumps are alternating on every other side, and it's nice and flat. But these last 3 stitches, I started them all on the right side, and you'll see they're starting to corkscrew. So if you notice that your bracelet is not looking flat, that may be what happened. But the nice thing about this is the leather is large enough, you can just pull your stitches back out. So if you need to, back up to where your bracelet stopped being flat, and then you can just start back from there. So I'm going to undo my mistake here and continue finishing my 2 inches. I've got my mistakes fixed now, and I have a little over 2 inches of my macrame stitch done. So I'm ready to start incorporating my beads. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to take our 2 core pieces and keep them together. And we'll string a bead on. You might want to do one at a time. And this 1/2 millimeter leather is going to just fit twice, so it might take a little patience. But you'll pull your bead all the way down, like that. And what's nice about the next part is to add your bead, you're just going to keep doing the same stitch. You just do it around the bead. And remember, like I said before, look at the bump to tell you which side you ended or which side to start on. So the bump on the last stitch is on this left side, so that's where I need to start my stitch. So make your little loop, come in front of the tail, under the cross, and up through the loop. And I'm just going to tighten it down. And we are going to do 3 stitches between each bead. So now I'll do the right side, in front, and then up under. And after you get the second one done, this will kind of be locked in place. I'll just do one more. And really you could put as many stitches as you want in between, but for the sake of this tutorial, that's how many we're going to do. If you did add more between the beads, you'd need to shorten the length that you start with before you add beads. So I've done my 3 stitches. I'm going to do another bead, and I'm going to continue on in this fashion until I have done all my beads. And once all 5 beads are in a row, then I'm going to finish with 2 more inches of just the stitched leather. So once you get there, I will catch up with you. We'll both get there, and then I'll show you how to finish it in the back and make it adjustable. Alright, I've patiently added all of my beads and finished the other edge of my bracelet. And I did have some extra, which is good. Like I said, it's better to have extra than to run out. And since we are using leather and it stretches and swells, what I'm going to do for this last stitch with the long piece is just pull it really tight. And then we're going to just trim close to it. Could always add a little water too before you stretched it. That's going to make the leather stretch and swell, and it'll be more likely to stay where you put it. So it should look kind of like this. And now what we want to do is create another macrame piece that covers all 4 of these strands where they cross in the back. And that's going to give them something to slide back and forth inside of, so it'll become adjustable. And that is where our 24-inch piece that we cut is going to come into play. So you're going to hold them together. If you are having trouble just holding them, you could take a card or a piece of cardboard and tape the top and bottom here and here to it so that you could do your stitching around it without it moving. But I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to take my 24-inch piece of leather, and yet again we're going to find the middle and then wrap the middle around all 4 strands. We've got 2 in one direction and 2 in the other. So this first stitch is a little hairy while you're trying to hold it all in place, but we're just doing the same macrame stitch we've been doing. So make your little loop, come in front, go under and behind, and then up through the loop. And when you tighten it down, you want it to be tight, but don't tighten it as much as you did on the bracelet, because these need to move back and forth freely. See how that's sliding? And I'm going to leave about an inch overlap right here. So we're going to macrame on top of all 4 strands for about an inch. Okay, so that's looking like enough. And so the idea is we can pull on these 2 and these 2 and tighten it or loosen it back up. Like that. So let's do the same thing with our leather here. We're just going to pull. Ooh, I pulled tight enough that it trimmed for me. Pull it tight and trim pretty close. And then we'll just have our 2 sets of strands hanging out. And what we'll do, so that they won't accidentally back all the way out, is we're going to put a little seed bead on the end of each one. So about a few inches out from the center on each one, we're going to put the seed bead on and then tie an overhand knot. And that's going to be your bottom stopper for your seed bead. Then you can trim just below your knot. So we'll have little beads on the ends of those, and then you can adjust your bracelet just like that once you put it on. So now you can rock your macrame bracelet and choose the beads that have meaning for you. I hope this was helpful.